So let's take a look at some multiplication and multiplication facts and some ways you can kind of help your child, some tips you can give. It's really important for your child to know your timetables. You know that you have to do it. You know there's practice. There's just no way to get around it. And here's some tips to kind of help you do that. Because there's really no way to fake it or to get to it, because you're going to have this information down when you get to higher and higher forms of math. So when your child starts to do the multiplication tables, make sure they practice all the way up to 12. I notice some children will stop like at 10 because the 10s are easy, and as they're in third or fourth grade, they may not have the skills that they need because they haven't practiced the higher numbers. Make sure your child practices the higher numbers. And one way to help them do that is something like this, is to do a multiplication chart with them. And if you do one of these multiplication tables, have them fill it in themselves. Make your child fill it in themselves. Kind of work with them on it. Because if they're able to fill it in, they'll start to see the patterns, not just something the teacher told them, something that they see. So you can see here that 2 times 2 is 4, and 2 times 3 is 6, and 2 times 4 is 8. Your child is starting to fill those in on his own, his or her own, and getting to understand those patterns associated with it. And you can know, as you go to 3, you can start to see the 3s, and as they start to fill them in, they'll see that every time things are going up by 3. So it's no matter which way you do it, as you start to look at it horizontally or even vertically, as they start to fill it in, they'll see that as they go through their times tables, for example, with 2 as a factor, you're going up by 2 every time. You're counting by 2. So that skip counting really helped them as they kind of move forward in multiplication. That really helps you. And so you can get your child to really understand, to see the patterns associated with multiplication by doing these types of tables with them. And don't just do it for just this. Do it for the higher numbers as well. So when you think about it and you're doing multiplication, make sure you're doing the timetable. Do a times table chart. Have them fill it out on their own. Work through it. Get the charts. There are plenty of them online that you can get for free. Do it all the way up to 12. Don't let them stop at the early numbers. Help them practice through 12, and then make sure you discuss the patterns with them so that they know what the patterns are and they can kind of figure it out on their own. Some things you can think about.